be in touch with what's happening in the industry, talk to people, and get a sense of where you can fit in and contribute the most. Because you might have a skill that is very much in demand, but it's not very obvious. I think when we're young, thinking about values per se can feel very heavy. So I wouldn't say be in touch with your values. I would say be in touch with what is causing you a lot of dissatisfaction, what doesn't feel like you, and at the same time, what is that one thing you see around you which makes you feel, I wish I did that. Because design education, even if you're doing a very specific degree in graphic design or interiors, or I studied architecture, it's still a very broad world out there. As we keep going into the professional world, you can become very specialized and you can hone in on what excites you the most, because when you're excited about something, you'll get better at it. And of course, after putting a lot of effort, but you will get better at what you're excited about. So I would say be in touch with what's exciting and at the same time what's dissatisfying to you, because these two emotions will kind of guide you towards your next path. Like, what do you want to go away from and what do you want to stay in touch with and get better at? I do think that the career options out there are way more than the number of courses that you can do, because every 2-3 years you realize a new profession has come up. For example, I'm a design operations consultant, and that is not a course that exists out there, but it is a big requirement in the design community. So I would say keep an eye out for what is the industry's need, whether that is AI, whether that is going on to the management side of things. Be in touch with what's happening in the industry, talk to people, and get a sense of where you can fit in and contribute the most. Because you might have a skill that is very much in demand, but it's not very obvious. So be in touch with what's happening in the industry out there. Competitiveness can mean different things to different people. It might mean growing in your job title. It could mean becoming way better at what you're already doing. And of course, upskilling is a very important thing. Another very important thing is, while you keep in touch with what's outside, be in touch with what's happening inside. Clarity about your own process, your own mind, how you do things, and also how you get blocked, right? Which is one of the things that I really wanted to write about. That's why this book even exists, that we are not taught how to deal with our own emotions. When we think of emotions, we think of empathy for the user, which is beautiful. It must exist. At the same time, we need to be a little more aware of our own emotions and understand what's blocking the design process. Because design is, as you said, self-expression. And creative thinking requires that emotional stability so that you're not distracted and you're able to come up with original ideas. So being aware of your mind blocks as well. So I would say self-awareness and then upskilling would be two very important things. Start asking questions. I think senior designers do this thing really well, that they will get in touch with, let's say, a product manager and understand what impact does design have on numbers. What iterative design, especially UX design, is able to do that because they can get live feedback from, let's say, how an app is being used, whether it's driving the purpose of the app forward. For some other things, it's a little more tough when you don't have data feedback coming to you. But if you can gather feedback on your design, not take it personally, but rather take it as constructive feedback to improve, then I think you can start learning about how your field of design affects business. Gathering complete business acumen is probably a little difficult because for a reason it's a very different field of its own. But in year 4 and 5, please start asking questions and start understanding how your specific work impacts the business numbers, so that you don't have to become a business person, but you have to be a business informed designer. Someone who takes design decisions with an understanding of how business works.